You're listening to The Broken Meeple Show, a podcast that speaks passionately about board games for the benefit of those who play them. My name's Luke Hector, best known for the Broken Meeple YouTube channel, and I'm an everyday gamer just like you. And I'll be talking about reviews, top 10s, and just about anything that connects me to board games, as long as I have a tea or coffee in hand, that is. So grab a cup, relax, and enjoy. And remember, it's only a game.
Hi everybody, welcome to another podcast episode. Oh, what was the last one I did? Was it before Essen or during it? I can't recall, or maybe it was only 2 weeks ago. I don't know, I forget. Time for me has, shall we say, gone sped up and slowed down a bit lately because of Essen. Essen was, fun as always. I'm going to talk about that this episode, but it was certainly exhausting as well. I came back and got severe kind of like post-con lag. Not like a cold or anything. I mean, my throat is not too bad. I think the last couple of days I've been talking a lot, so it's probably a little bit weird now. But no, I came back without a cold, as far as I'm aware, without COVID or anything like that. So I think I survived that aspect. But I was tired, yeah. For some reason, my energies went switched to nil for about a day or so afterwards. So I wasn't doing a lot. After that, I had to sort of get some sleep, recover, and bits and bobs. So what's new with me? Some big stuff, actually. I mean, obviously, I've got a bucket load of games to go through at Essen. We'll show you my haul later. But mainly, social-wise, just getting back into the swing of things. Obviously, I've got more reviews to do. So Sanctuary came out yesterday. So we're starting on games now. A lot to play, but it's all going to be good fun. I'm looking forward to telling you about a specific game in the next few days, but I can't yet because the embargo has not lifted. However, a certain publisher will be sorting that problem out in the next few days, and other than that, I will say no more. But, just keep an eye on my Instagram and stuff like that maybe in the next couple of days. But other than that, work-wise, I don't think I mind saying it now, really, because frankly, I don't think anybody at work watches my show anyway. I have accepted a new job opportunity elsewhere. I can't go into too much detail, but basically, wasn't happy where I am, and, as some of you may already know, and I got an offer while I was at Essen, came back and thought about it, weighed up the pros and cons, met them, meet and greet. The interview was pre-Essen, so it was a, pretty good interview that went down. And I had to just basically weigh up the pros and cons, compare one job to another. Is it worth it? Why do I want to leave? That kind of thing. And eventually I decided, take a plunge, take a leap of faith. Friends and family have advised me in that, and I just decided yes. So, the next 3 months are going to be interesting because my job has a 3-month notice period as a professional employee, and everything else is kind of stuff I can't really talk about. So it's just a case of new horizons await, and hopefully this will improve my my work life, because let's face it, work is work. You don't go to work to have fun. You go to work because you're forced to. So you might as well make work as enjoyable or tolerable as you can. And currently at the moment, it's not particularly tolerable. But yeah, so that's all good. Big changes there. Other than that, going to the blog itself. 26,730. Let's try and get those numbers up. Sanctuary review has gone out. Only 2.5, just under 2,500 views on it, though. Would be nice to get some more views on it, because I know people have had it and reviewed it and got more views on it, so it would be nice. But I've noticed the views on some of my videos have kind of decreased a little bit in recent months and increased for others. I don't know what the algorithm's doing, but yeah, it does seem to be that way. But as I say, there's some loyal fans out there, so by all means, thank you for your support. Get the views in, watch some of these reviews here. Look at that. I got Scara Bray, I got the Anarchy, got Baghdad, got Sanctuary, got Ada's Dream, got Shallow Sea. Shallow Sea is doing ridiculously well. It's got like 9 and a bit thousand views. I am really surprised that Shallow Sea, of all games, has been the one where people are watching it. Ada's Dream has got a third of that. Sanctuary hasn't even got to a third of that. And these Garfield games here, not even close to that. I don't know what it is about Shallow Sea that everybody needed to see it, but something has made that one explode. And I'm not going to complain, but I would like to know why. That one is just a bit confusing. But there's going to be more videos to come now. So we've had a bit of a break, October 16 all the way to November the 1st. But Now's when the videos start popping out at a reasonable rate, providing I can get all the games played and reviewed. I need to be able to play them enough times to warrant a review. That involves a lot of game playing time, which is not a bad, not a big deal. I can call on people to come round. I can play solo modes. I've got 2 game clubs. I've got the means to get these games played. But unlike some people, I don't live with a diehard gamer as my spouse. So that does hamper things a little bit. But it just means that I need a bit more time to organize my plays, as opposed to people who can literally just at the drop of a hat say we're playing these games. But by all means, check out the Sanctuary review. It's something you might want to check out. You need to bear in mind a few things before you decide to purchase this game, and before subscribing to the Yes Men, I would maybe watch this one and get a slightly different opinion. But yeah, all in all good. By all means, come here, subscribe to the channel. If you can, help out on the Patreon as well. Patrons are getting told, what games I've got, and they're able to cast their votes as to what I look at next. In fact, the Patrons voted recently on a few games that I was considering to look at, and of course they voted for, if I just check the camera's all good, let me get that down. Here we go. Lodge, or is that how you pronounce it? I'm not sure, but yeah, this one got voted on as, after Sanctuary, this is the one that they wanted to know about first. So I've been giving them this one the beans this weekend. You can even see my thoughts on Instagram and that. So, got some initial thoughts, but I need to give it a few more plays yet, and that's in the works for the next couple of days. So, that will be a thing. But I'll just say, so far so good, with a couple of blemishes in places. But yeah, for the most part, so far so good. So yeah, look forward to getting that review out to you. Let's see, if all goes well, could have it done by the end of the week, actually. If I can get the plays in, I could review it midweek and then edit it by next weekend. That's doable. That's doable. So maybe next weekend you can see a review of this one. So that would be quite cool. But yes, so what's on for this episode? We're mainly going to talk about Essen, debrief, what I got up to, what games I've got, and just generally go from there. So if I go to, well, actually I don't need to go to anything right now, I'll just sort of mention it. So Essen 2025 is officially over. Now, I don't overly care how many numbers it's got. It always likes to record people through the doors and that. I know it's more than last year, and yes, it feels it. I mean, they've expanded the space, but there's still a decent amount of people walking around. You still have to, clamber through people and get through them and that. So it's a little bit hit and miss here and there. But Essen itself is still a fun place to go. And if you're new to Essen, you can check out my preview videos that I've done every year with tips on how to navigate it and everything, so that's always good to consider. But I would also just say that if you're looking to come to Essen for the first time, maybe just consider coming for a couple of days. Make it part of your week holiday. So I'm going to go visit Germany for a week. We're going to go sightseeing. Thursday and Friday, you go to Essen. That's fine, because Saturday is rammed and too busy and it's too much for a first-time viewer. And Sunday, a lot of FOMO stuff has kind of sold. So you kind of want to come on the Thursday and Friday, I would say. But 2 days out of your week holiday, I'm sure most of you could manage that just fine. But yeah, it was good fun. I spent half the convention helping out with Dranda. So we've got to say, somebody took a photo of this who doesn't know how to take a photo correctly, because half of me is obscured by Sarah Shah. But oh well, never mind. To be honest, I don't come out well on photos anyway. But yeah, the Dranda team. So lots of us there, lots of funny people dying. In fact, not all of them even pictured. I think one of them was taking the photo, so yep, fair enough. But it was great. You can even see the game I was demoing there, Jackpot. So I spent half the convention demoing that game, which I so wish I designed that game. It's got a really clever little mechanism to it. It's just a clever little light game. A 30-minute filler game that doesn't have randomness to it. I mean, that's something to boast about, but annoyingly, I didn't design the game. Somebody even asked me, oh, is this your design? I just went, I bloody well wish it was. So it would have been great. But I don't have the time or the creative talent to design a game. I just see a game, see it do well, see it's got simple rules, and then get jealous that I didn't think of it myself. So that's as good as I can do. But yeah, they're a great little team here. Aiden there at the front who heads things, and Simon over there. So yeah, just a few volunteers, a few like proper like Dranda employees and stuff. Sarah Shah, from Board Games in a Minute and YouTube Weekly, by all means check out her content. And just some colourful folk. Each of them putting in the effort. We're a good knit team. Everybody looks out for each other, and we go back to the hotel, play some games, have a few beers, go out for meals. I mean, we had pizza in one night. We went. Sarah Shah took me to a Arab restaurant, Arabesque, I think it's called in Germany, which served Arab food because I'd never had an Arab restaurant dinner before. It was quite nice actually. I forget what it was I had, but it was like a grilled chicken, baked chicken with goat cheese and spinach inside. I think it was like that. So like the filling was goat cheese and spinach, or soft cheese and spinach. It was something like that. It was interesting, and it had like some dips on the plate that, to be fair, are served weird. It looks like somebody's just gone splat on the plate. But, the dips were nice. Had a few appetizers, various little meat dishes and stuff. And, yeah, I mean, it's nice food. It's not my favorite cuisine by a country mile. I certainly would rather have, like, an Indian or a tapas or, paellas, stuff like that. But, yeah, I mean, I still enjoyed it. It was just nice evening, nice food. And we went to another, I forget what the restaurant was called, but it was an Asian restaurant. It had like sushi, but it also had Vietnamese pho, PHO pho, as a dish, which was really good. And, various other like, nicely baked duck and that. And it was just really nice food. But for the price you paid, the portion sizes were insane. I have never seen an Asian restaurant or a sushi place give that much food. It was kind of insane how many, like, what dishes we had for the money you paid. I expected it to be like, oh yeah, you'll get a thimble full of rice and your chicken will be like a baby thing that was shriveled up when you found it or something. It's like, it'll be a tiny little thing. No. These guys, they brought you big portions. It was kind of good. I just wish I could remember what the stunning restaurant was. Part of it is a takeaway and a sushi bar where you can sit and have it like delivered to you on a belt. But then the other half is a full-on restaurant at the back, and you can approach it from both sides. It's in the middle of Essen city centre way. But I can't remember what it's called. That's going to bug me, but I don't know, maybe some German experts will be able to fill in the blank there. Put it in the comments if you do. But yeah, it's a pretty solid place. So yeah, love the team. I've helped them out twice this year. Will I help them out again next year? Maybe. I mean, I tend to like to chop and change when I do demos. Like, is there a game I really want to demo? Then I'll go with that publisher, demo it, and, meet different teams. Sorry, we had a little Wi-Fi blip there. I was saying, it's nice to have a group of people that you get on well with and are willing to spend a good portion of a few days with. So there is that. I can't say that I would want to demo Jackpot every single mention. I mean, I like the game, but the more you demo something, the more you get sick of it. But next year, hopefully they'll have some more releases and we can demo other stuff. Although it could be worse. I could be demoing Galactic Cruise. And as much as I like Galactic Cruise, I'm not sure I'd want to spend an entire week demoing it. I think my voice would just go. So, although I did have a little tip, I bought this little voice amplifier thing. You had it on your belt and the microphone went round and it basically elevated the volume of your voice. So I didn't need to talk as loud. That was good. But it was only a 30 quid piece of tat from Amazon. I saw people at other publishers using them and they were better quality. So I think before the Games Expo, I'm going to invest in a better one. But I probably need to stick that Amazon piece of tat on eBay and get some money back for it because I'm not going to keep that one. I will definitely invest in something much better. But yeah, just a very cool team. I was happy to help, so thanks for having me. And, it's also very nice to see that, I don't know if these are coming out all right on there. It's nice to see that they've got my sticker on a couple of their games. So they put the seal of distinction on Ada. Oh no, that's Alley Cat. Sorry, Alley Cat had it on Ada's Dream. So that I heard Ada's Dream flew off the shelves at Essen. Like it really sold quick. And the only people who have reviewed it are a couple of German reviewers, I believe, or European reviewers, and me. So I'm pleased to see that my word has carried some weight because they made a decent amount of mint on this game, and I do approve. 9 out of 10. Ada's Dream's a really good game. I've still got it on my shelf, so I was very happy to see my sticker on that. But Dranda have also done it. They've had my sticker on the Galactic Cruise boxes before, but they've actually got it printed properly on the Isle of Trains one here, so you can see it here among a few. And I can't help but feel a little bit smug that on this banner of 4 here, I'm above the Dice Tower one. I mean, like I say, fair play to him, but I just think it's quite cool that I'm the one at the top of that banner there. I'm not ranked below. They haven't gone like, oh, they love it, and then these guys. No, they got mine first, and I'm just gonna ride the smug wave on that. But I know it's silly, but I just find it quite amusing. So, yeah, I mean, Essen itself, good convention. It was still as predicted. Thursday, a lot of stuff, FOMO stuff can sell out. Friday was fine. Saturday was rammed. And Sunday is getting everything done and not too that busy. There was a lot of people I met in terms of publishers and some diners. Some people came up and said hi. I was very happy to, play Jackpot and show it to people who watch the channel. So if you are one of those who did come up and say hi and shake the hand in that, I think there was less of you than last year, but never mind. But I respect everybody who comes by and says hi. So yeah, by all means, thank you. It's difficult to keep the channel going from a mental, a mental health point of view. It's good to get that feedback back from people saying, like what you do, keep doing it. We need that motivation. People don't seem to realize that doing content creation can be a mental health strain at times, especially when you, like I said earlier, when you see views dropping, when you see people leaving and stuff, and you're like, oh, God, I gotta keep doing this, and yet you don't seem to get anything back for it. But yeah, when you guys come up and say hi, it really means the world to me. So, and got to see a few favorites as well. People that I know have been lifetime fans. One in particular who wears one of my hoodies. It's got a worn out logo. He's had it for so long. But yeah, I love seeing it because I think he's like the only person who's bought one of my clothing items that you see tagged onto every YouTube video. It's like a little side thing just to make more money for the channel. But yeah, he actually bought a hoodie and he still wears it every time it's at Essen. I see him in it. So it's great to see him. But yeah, just some, it was just nice to see people hug, selfies, shake my hand, whatever. I am up for it. I won't look good in your selfie because I suck in photos, but by all means take them. It's just nice to see you. So thank you very much. What else on the Essen front? I already mentioned what I was doing with Dranda, and that was most of my evenings. But when it comes to Essen is very much a shopping and networking trip. Because half of the convention I spend just demoing a game for a booth, because A, it's good to hang out with people, B, I like teaching games, and C, it saves a crap ton of money on accommodation. But the other thing is that the rest of Essen is mostly meetings with publishers to get some review copies of games, and also a shopping trip to go around and get some of the review copies that I know I was getting, but also buy the ones that I knew I wasn't getting. So Thursday and Friday get taken up by that mostly. By Saturday I was kind of done with a lot of the convention. By mid-Saturday I was like, yeah, I've kind of seen all I need to see really. And Sunday was mostly just trying to find stuff to do, like maybe get into a demo here or there. I did play 1 or 2 demo games while I was there, but for the most part I didn't really. It's like I don't go to Essen to really play a lot of games. I know some people take all their stuff back to the hotel and play them, but in the evenings we were going out for food. We were hanging out on beer, drinking beer and stuff. And it's like, I don't need to play that many games. We did play Sanctuary. I did play Lost Luminar. I did play their Dranda's old ones of El Dorado that they were showing off there. So I did play that. But then other than that, I think I got a demo of Tabai, the one from Board and Dice. But that's about it. I tried to get into a couple of games where I haven't bought the game, like Covenant and Deckers particularly, but it's just a nightmare to get into them. They only have like so many tables in English, and then they're taken up. The demos last a while. People are camping the tables. I mean, I just don't like queuing up for demos. If I can get into a demo nice and quick, I like it, but I don't like queuing up for 30, 45 minutes waiting for a demo to start and then having a demo for an hour. It just doesn't work for me. So I tend not to play a lot of games at Essen. I just think, well, if I've got the game to review and it's in my car, why don't I just wait till I get home and then I'll play it? It just makes more sense that way. Sipping the coffee, throat's already a bit sore. I was at a Halloween party last night, which probably didn't help. But yeah, so that's kind of the way it is. But certainly got a lot of stuff back, so I can't think of anything else from an Essen standpoint. I say it was big. It was fun to help out Dranda. It was great to see you guys who turned up and shake hands. And I had good fun, as always. I drive to Essen and back. It's a long trip. But I've had longer, more exhausting trips driving up north in the UK, frankly. The channel tunnel does cost an extortionate amount of money to go across, but trust me, having the car boot over there is pretty damn handy. Certainly better than I would not be able to fly there. I'm sorry, I couldn't. I mean, I've seen some creators fly there and bring back 1 million review copies, but the logistics of carrying that many suitcases and having to drag those around and then fly them back and pay them that, it's like, no, I'm not going through that. It's just better to pay the money and drive the car and stick it all in the boot. That works for me. But in terms of the haul, because I'm sure that's a major thing that everybody goes on about. So let's get rid of that. Let's get rid of that and show you the haul. Boom. So this is my sofa at home. And this doesn't look like much now, but that's because that's only half the haul. Because this is one lot and this is the other lot. There's quite a few things there. Now, I don't know why the image is showing at, like, on that side. I think I might have to... Can I put my face somewhere else on here? Maybe that would help. Nope. I suppose I could, but that's a little bit annoying. Cinema layout. Well, I could take my face out of the equation entirely. I mean, well, we'll cross that bridge. I don't know. It's a portrait photo, so it's just been annoying. But we'll go with this one first. So this is the half that were review copies. So as you know, as in this industry, some people will give you review copies and some people won't. And there is basically a few golden rules that are apparent in the industry. Firstly, if you say pretty much only positive things about games, people will give you review copies. Because if they know that you're going to say good things all the time, there's no risk. There's no risk of them saying, I don't like it. And if they don't publish videos on stuff they don't like, then you minimize the risk as well, because people will just go, oh, they haven't done a video on it. Fair enough. They don't know that they haven't done a video because they don't like the game. So naturally, that happens. Also, I would say that particularly for a lot of European publishers, they tend to favor European, as in continental Europe, creators more than UK. I mean, there is clearly some blood between UK and the rest of Europe ever since Brexit, so there is that aspect. But I do find that, if you're a European, continental Europe content creator, you get a lot more review copies than a UK-based content creator, unless you're a particularly big name. So, I have to kind of make do with what I can get. And I'm more than grateful to every publisher who is willing to donate a copy to this channel, because it means a lot. It helps to keep the channel going, because I could not afford to buy all these. I mean, this would absolutely decimate the channel fund-wise. But, granted that these are all review or preview copies, but then if I go to the next slide, this lot is everything that wasn't a review copy. So I'll take myself off the camera for a minute there. So you can see Origin Story and Tax the Rich down there. So I had to buy those, take time. I know Folded Space, technically that's not a review copy, but I did get those discounted. So we got like Emberheart and we've got Emberheart, Windmill Valley, Tianxia, I forgot the pronunciation of that, to buy. Windmill Valley, Emberheart, and there was one other. What was the other one? I don't know. It's a biggish Euro game. I think it was. We've got to buy Windmill Valley. Chance here. Yeah. We've got Emberheart. We've got Windmill Valley. What the hell is the other one? Oh, Forest Shuffle. We got that one. That's it. So obviously, once I build those and stick them in the games, I don't know when I'll get a chance to do that. But when I do, you'll see Instagram how those fit. I always like doing that for Folded Space. They give me discounted inserts, and I put them on Instagram and show off how good they are. For Northwood doesn't count. That was a side purchase I made after I did my last talk saying I really like the game. I bought it and it was waiting for me at home, so that's just there as on. But then Recall, yeah, right, review copy of that's never happening. Delicious Games, I never get stuff from there. Same with Cranio Creations, with Echoes of Time, Ludonova, Coming of Age. I did get review copies of other stuff from Board and Dice. They're very nice to me, but I decided to buy Windmill Valley Blooming Sales off myself. Epona, again, Delicious Games. Mind Clash, I never get stuff from them, so Emberheart. The Voynich Puzzle, nope, I had to buy that one myself. I was actually able to get one of the last 5 copies they had there, but everybody kept banging on about it and saying, like, oh yeah, this is pretty solid and stuff, and it's like, No idea, but I bought it just in case I can review it later. Tax the Rich, origin story. So yeah, quite a few stuff there, but this was basically bought out of my own pocket. So, well, out of my own pocket slash channel funds. So, like I say, the Patrons help keep this channel going. It pays for the subscriptions, but it also pays for further stuff to talk about. So, the review copies are obviously going to get priority and full-on videos for those, but these ones may get videos, or it's a case that they'll get at least talked about. So maybe if I can't do videos for these, I will at least talk about them on the podcast and maybe give reviews on there. I mean, that could work for some of these. I don't see it would be that difficult to do stuff like Seven Wonders Dice, Epona, and origin story. I can't imagine that these would need full-on videos, but it would be nice to get around to doing a full video for Recall, Ember Heart, maybe Coming of Age and Echoes of Time. That would be good, but we will have to see. But yeah, quite a few things to go over there. But let's get back to this one. So if you're wondering what that little creature is in the middle, this is a really cool thing. I met up with one of the guys from Bad Comic Games, and you've seen me do Wondrous Creatures, Shallow Sea, and Brain Fart, Life of the Amazonia. All really good games. And he was giving this to a few creators. He said, "Oh, I got a gift for you." And it's this cool little thing. I think it's called a Globion or Globion or something. I don't know how they pronounce it, but it's basically a creature from Wondrous Creatures. It's one of the cards. It looks really cute, and it's a magnet, like little mascot thing. So it's got a little magnet base. You put it underneath your top, like on your shoulder, and then the thing magnetizes to that and sits on your shoulder like a little mascot thing, and it doesn't fall off. It's a little finicky because you have to obviously put it somewhere under a decent tight shirt so that it doesn't roll around or move around too much. But yeah, it's quite cool to have that on on your shoulder and that. But thanks for that. It's a cool little mascot. I might put it in the back on some videos. It would be nice to put some mascots in my videos, actually, just to have something else in the background. So maybe I'll start doing that. But yeah, so these are review copies that I got. So oh yes, I've just realized I've just been mucking around with saying things are on my shoulder, and I'm not even on view. There we go. So let's swig another bit of coffee and talk about this. So this is review copies, and there's one not pictured. I have not got Valheim yet. Valheim, I am told, is going to be delivered to me after the fact. I have enough games to talk about, so it's not like I can't wait for Valheim. I can be patient, but hopefully I'll get sent that in November or December. Hopefully we're not going to drag this out till next year. I might have to drop him a line and just remind them, but yeah, I'm looking forward to... I did actually demo Valheim, and was one of the other ones I got into. I was able to demo it, and I did enjoy it, but you join the demo at a late stage of the game. I need to play it through the full game to really see what it's like, but I'm looking forward to doing more on that. But these are full-on review copies. So what do we have here? So first off, let's do the preview ones first. I don't often do previews. It's not typically my thing, but I am, for the right people and for the right game, willing to, step out of the mark. And for that, I mean, Dranda have given me their pre-production copy there of Mutagen. So I need to discuss what they actually want me to do with that, frankly, because I didn't actually go over the details. But yeah, if they want me to do some preview content for that, it would be nice too. So I will, or even review content, actually. Maybe I can. I think it's meant to be released quite soon, so we'll see. But at some point, I'll be able to look at Mutagen. And For the Gods was Mighty Board's game there. It's like a little area control game, quite simple rules, building up little towers all over the place and triggering little special powers. Looks simple enough. I have no idea how what it's like to play, like fun-wise, but she gave me a preview copy of it, so I don't really need to talk about this one until the new year, though, because I don't think they're launching it on Kickstarter until February time, so I think we're just going to leave that one until 2026 to have a look at. So it's on the cards. But then let's have a look at what do we got. So we got a couple of games from Empress 4, because Empress 4 are very nice fans of the channel, and they do like giving me games. There's a tiny one there called Foodies. I think it's like what Grandma Wants to Eat, or Foodies. It's like a tiny little card game. It'll take no time to have a look at that, because it's only a tiny little card game. But you will notice Walking in a Soccer there, which I have being given a few plays. That one is quite a little interesting one so far. it's in that same vein as the other walking in games. You know, a card game in a small box that involves kind of has like sightseeing as your theme and scores you points in various ways. But it's a nifty little game. You effectively have like a grid of cards, and you move your meeple around it, rows and columns. You can select the cards, but you build up these columns of cards in front of you, and choosing whether to overlap or put behind another card. So it's a bit like what are they called? I've forgotten what they were called. I can't remember. There were games where you had to place cards and build a little city, and you chose whether you wanted to cover a square or put the card behind it or something. I forget what they were called, but it's in that kind of vein. But the idea is that at different times during this game, different icons will score, and it's about timing those as well as obviously getting what you need in order to do it. So far, so good. My only problem with it is that I think it could do with some player aids to help with the scoring side of things, because you do have to teach a fair bit of how these scorings work, and it might throw off a few new people. It's definitely got a bit more, shall we say, weight than some of the other walking games. I think this is probably the heaviest I've seen of them. I mean, the one before it, Province, was a bit more fiddly, but it wasn't as heavy. And walking in Burano was quite a lightweight one. This one does feel a little bit more involved, but yeah, so far pretty neat. Anyway, so those two are definitely on the list there. What else we got? Tatsumi. That one looks like it's I think it was called. I am going to brain fart a lot on this video because I am a little tired. But let me just take the camera off here, and we're gonna BGG Tatsumi. I am not gonna forget everybody's sodding name. So here we go, Tatsumi 2025, Adam's Apple Games. That's it, Adam's Apple Games. So this one, in fact, actually, why don't we just have the picture up? Because then I can at least show off some of these games. There we go. So Tatsumi kind of looks like it plays a bit like a cross between Azul and Mandala Stone. So you effectively are putting these little discs on your board in certain ways to score points. But the way it works is that you've got this like tray of all the different rings, a bit like how Mandala Stones stack their bits. And you've got these dragons, and they could be basic, they could have asymmetrical powers, depending on what you want to do. And the idea is that you move them in rows and columns on here, and where you move it from, you take the disc and you put it on your board, and you're trying to put it down in certain ways. But obviously, other dragons are blocking your path. Some of them might have special powers on how they can do things, and it looks like it plays in a very, I mean, I suppose it could be a cross between Azul, Harmonies, and Mandala Stones. Yeah, Harmonies would be the third one I might throw in there. So, looks interesting. It had a good production. And like I say, I've got a review copy of it, so I will give that one a speed review at some point. Okay, and there's a little expansion there if I need it. Sanctuary, well, you've already seen my video for that, so I'm not going to say much more on that. Check out my review video for Sanctuary. Suffice to say, it's not as good as I was hoping it was. Spoiler alert. As I say, even though... Actually, yeah, wait a minute. This is in the wrong pile. I didn't get Sanctuary to review. Yeah, I didn't get Sanctuary to review. Sanctuary wasn't a review copy. I put that in the wrong photo. That should be in the other photo with the ones that I paid out of my own money. Hope I didn't get any wrong on here. Nope, all of these were paid for. So, yeah. Sanctuary, you should be in the other thing. I paid €55 for that. Well, was it €45 or something for that one? And, yeah, that was not a review copy. So, yeah, just making that one clear. Anyway, check out my review video for that one. Okay, so we got, let's stick on the top row. So we got Limit and Arigato. These are two games from Dranda Games, who sadly are no longer making games. They are now out of the running, which is a shame because I liked Living Forest and they were very nice people. There was a lovely, lovely girl called Manon. I think her name is Manon. I think that's how you pronounce it. But yeah, I really do mess up names. I am so sorry. But she was very lovely. She was always there to meet me at Essen and stuff, just not this year because she wasn't able to turn up. But, usually we have meetings, we get on well, we chat about how things are. It's like, she's just very nice. She was a very good marketing lady for Dranda. But Arigato looks interesting. Well, I say it looks very nice. I have played Arigato a fair few times. In fact, I've already done the speed review for this one, so I don't really want to spoil what I think of the game, but suffice to say that speed review will be coming out shortly this week. Shouldn't take me too long to edit that one, hopefully. If I've got time, I might be able to do it today, which I probably ought to, because I think the next 2 days are going to be taken up with board game playing, so we'll have to see. But yeah, Arigato, I've got a speed review coming out for that very, very soon. Limit, though, is the one that I'm really interested. I mean, Arigato already looked quite cool, but Limit I'm very keen on, because this is something different for Ludenor. I mean, it's a competitive. You play as a nation facing the challenges of our world. You make crucial political decisions, manage resources, global crises, and it's all about, in a sense, saving the planet, food consumption and all this stuff. But as a theme, that is something very different for Ludenor. It's really like outside the box for them. But it looks like you've got tracks to maintain certain stuff about world needs and stuff. You've got all these different cards you can play to affect. So maybe it's got like a tableau building, terraforming Mars type of feel. That could be quite cool. Doesn't look too complicated to play, although it does look like a more involved game for them than compared. But yeah, I'm very, very curious about this one. I mean, it could be bad, it could be rubbish, we don't know. But as a concept, this sounds really, really cool, and I do like that cover. I think having the big planet of the world or something, I think that's quite cool. But yeah, I'm intrigued to see. There's not a lot of other information on there, and I haven't even demoed it, so I don't know. But 1 to 6, 60 to 150 minutes. I mean, this is going to be 3.3 free weight. This definitely is more involved than a lot of their stuff. So, and there's not a lot of people talking about it. I know fans also like Railway Boom. No, I think not. I have not got Railway Boom to review. I mean, do you honestly think I am going to review Railway Boom? I'm sorry, but it looks like all the other train games I've seen that use this art style. I'm told it's not mostly about trains, but for crying out loud, this part of the board is a train track, and you've got trains all over this map of hexes. If it's about other stuff, I'd sure love to know, but nothing about this game cried out to me as, oh yeah, this is something I'm going to enjoy. I'll try any game once. I honestly will try this game if somebody puts it in front of me and it's the consensus choice, but my god, I'm not going to hunt this thing down. I could just see the antimatter explosion going off. Hang on, re-implements Railway Boom. Oh, well, I see. There was an original version that came out in 2022, which, not a particular looker there, but I mean, Paul Grogan and a fair few, and some people who are into train games are absolutely raving about it, but yeah, just don't expect me to be going ape over it. I'm not going to be sure. Right, okay, so let's move on to a different one. So, of course, this All Lodge I've already mentioned. I'm playing it. Review coming soon. SETI expansion and Wispwood. Now, I don't know a lot about Wispwood. Looks like a very cutesy abstract game, so it'll be nice to get into that one. But of course, the SETI expansion, of course, I am frothing at the mouth to get that in a game. I haven't unboxed it yet, but yeah, why have I called it Dynasties? It's not called SETI Dynasties, it's called SETI Space Agencies. But yeah, I mean, I need to put this in my game of SETI and play it. I mean, I am so hyped about playing this one. These asymmetric organizations you can play, the quick start cards, meaning you don't need to have round one. You can just get into the meat of the game straight away. 3 new aliens I can't wait to try out. More cards, solo compatible, and a new scanning mechanic. Oh, this expansion could be like the Marine Worlds for Art Nova. This could be, yeah, what Marine Worlds was to Art Nova, this could be for SETI. It could be that amazing. I cannot wait to get this played. And yes, I will do a video review to tell you all about it. I hope it doesn't disappoint. Okay, what else? Miskatonic Tales. I didn't know I was getting this, actually. I knew I was meeting Chaosium there, but my usual contact wasn't there. So I met another guy, Kuba, I believe his name was, and I was surprised to know that he actually liked the channel as well. So great, I've got some fans at Chaosium, apparently. But the Orient Express one wasn't ready for that one, which I will look at when it's fully released. But yes, that is a bit later on. However, I was given a copy of Miskatonic Tales. Now, I do like the Arkham Horror universe, and I do like a good narrative storytelling game. Now, I'm kind of not in the need to play massive campaign games right now, and this is a 15-hour one, but you can apparently play it in multiple scenarios, so I don't need to play all 15 hours at once, which is good. I can play this with a group, I could play this with, just myself, so one way or the other it can get done. I like the fact that you can get immersive audio speech to help with the narrative. I always like it when games do that, but this one I'm interested in. It's typical Arkham Horror, so take control of the investigation, have stats, have items and things like that. But other than that, you are going through a story with, almost like a sort of choose your own adventure style. And I'm curious to see what it'd be like. So yeah, set in the universe, Call of Cthulhu horror mystery, 3 standalone sandbox adventures that can be played separately that share one large story arc. Doesn't have a strict turn order, but emphasizes solving the case together as a group. Every move you make has a paragraph from the book that reveals yet another piece of your story. Every story can be different. You can try and solve it several times, to get the full picture. Sounds cool. I mean, I am down for another narrative storytelling game in the Arkham universe. It was a huge box. There's a lot in this box. Trust me, it was heavy. But I'm glad I can play this in scenario form, because to play 15 hours worth of time would be a little bit problematic. But being able to play something like a 3-hour game of this, 90 to 3-hour games, means I could learn the rules, play one scenario solo, see what it's like, and then play another scenario in a group, and then get some views on that. And then I'd be able to do a video review of this. So I am curious, and I actually forgot that Paul Grogan has actually done a video on this. So interesting. Although I wouldn't want to watch a playthrough of it, because that would be spoilers, wouldn't it? Well, I suppose watch it if you want spoilers. But yeah, I'd forgotten he'd done one, actually. Sorry, Paul. But yeah, well, I'm interested to dive into this one. A return to Cthulhu. It's been a while, hasn't it? In with the coffee. Right. What do we got? So let's move on. Let's do the single one first. Let's do Children of the Colossi first. So this is from Cosmodrome Games. And apparently I have a fan at Cosmodrome Games, so thank you. But if I can spell Colossi right. Here we go. Children of the Colossi. This one intrigued me. They emailed me out of the blue saying if I wanted a copy of this. And I said, I don't want to have a pre-production copy of it. Let me know when it's ready. So Essen time, and I'll get it then. Because that's how I want to do things. I know some people have done it in advance, but you know me, I will do previews of some games, like I said, but I am very choosy. Okay. But this one intrigues me. This is an area control game, to some extent, which is not my, dudes on the map and that, which granted is not my favorite mechanism. But that wasn't what intrigued me. What intrigued me, other than the fact it's got some, nice artwork and that, is the concept. So the board is not the best looker, but it's functional. You can tell what's going on. But the idea is that you have these colossi creatures running around. So you got these giant miniature, wooden pieces for the colossi, and they're basically like big creatures. There was that film. There was a film where the cities of the world were on the back of these massive, moving platforms or something, and they moved around. London was really big and tried to gobble up all the others or something. I forget what it was called. It was based on a book series, but I hear the film was pretty dull though, so I'm not that fussed. But the idea with this game is that you've got action boards, which I'm trying to find. Can I get a picture of an action board? Here you go. So here's one. It's basically like, this is one particular colossi, right? So this big sort of lizard salamander type thing I wonder what creature that is, but never mind. And this is one of them. I think this is one of the easier ones in the game to use. And they've got an action board where you spend, you've got ways to do actions, and you've got these little people that are basically how you do actions. But the cool thing is that each one of these colossi has a different board of actions. And there's, I think, 5 of them, and you only use 3 in the game. So, you've got a bit of variety there. But the cool thing is, there's a couple of actions here where you see this hook symbol and this glide action. This is how you get people on and off the map. So you have people on this particular colossi doing these actions. So you got this weird little spider one here and stuff. But the map where you're getting these eggs and doing all this, the sort of area control aspect of it, is depending on where the colossi is. So you might fly off the colossi onto one bit of the map, and then the colossi goes away. And then it's like, well, my people are here, so I need to find a way for the people to get back onto said colossi if I want to do actions there. And it's like, that's a cool concept that I haven't seen a lot in games. The idea that you've got a dynamic moving piece for your action boards. There's some games, I wish that could be used more often in games. I think it would be quite sweet. Like you could have a trading game where the ships sail around and the action board is not available until the ship comes into port. Something like that. But yeah, that concept has intrigued me with this one. Is it any good? Don't know. Haven't played it. But I have a copy. I will review it. I will play it. I am hoping it will be good. But I'm hoping that it will be as good as the concept. But yeah, the concept alone has made me go, this is a little different. We haven't seen this for a while. In fact, I can't remember the last time something like this Colossi mechanic was even in an area control game, to be honest. So by all means, let me know in the comments if you can think of one. But yeah, something a little different, something a little unique. This is what I'm looking for in this industry. Okay, right, let's move back. So now we'll go on to 12 Rivers and Citrus. Now, Citrus I don't know a lot about, so that one's going to be a bit of a new one for me to sort of have a look at. It's mercenaries escape dystopia in order to find paradise in the floating cities. Okay, but the main people that were showing it off was Good Games Publishing. They were the ones there. And I also got a little... Actually, where is it? Is it in the other photo? Oh, there it is. Yeah, it's blended in with Voynich Puzzle. I forget what it was called, but it was like this tiny little trick taker game. I'm told it's pretty interesting. Somebody at Mubin at Dranda Games recommended I grab it. It was cheap. It was less than €10 or something. Or was it €15? I don't know, but pretty cheap. And I grabbed it. It's a little trick taker from them. No idea. But it's out of this particular photo, I do want to try Echoes of Time, and I do want to try Coming of Age. And I would like to see how Tax the Rich works as a trick taker. The Windmill Valley expansion sounds pretty good. But yeah, I mean, out of this, it's definitely all high up there as to, I want to try this one from this one. Anyway, I digress. Citrus. So this one, I don't know a lot about this game at all. It's very somewhat new. So play as a rebel mercenary who wants to get into Stratos, Earth's largest sky hub. Okay, this sounds very much like a later battle angel. It is this sky colony where you will find Earth's most powerful, wealthiest, blah, blah, blah. So, you're in the underbelly. So what is it? You must... What is it? Where's the actual bit of the mechanics? You have found a way in, the tubes, vertical shafts that surface the city's waste chutes. This is definitely sounding like a leader battle angel. The tubes will be a one-way ticket. Your only chance of acquiring a large, of course, you will need the help of your crew to get in. So hone your skills, upgrade your abilities, and procure as many supplies as possible to achieve your objective. Do missions, level up with factions. So this has definitely got a very kind of cyberpunkish style feel to it. And it's got this weird platform board here with different levels on it. It's got a lot of colored cubes. The artwork's a little garish. I don't know how good this is going to be. I'm literally going into this one blind. We will have to see. But the main one I'm interested in, which I was really focused on, was 12 Rivers. 12 Rivers. I'm definitely looking at this one because this looks gorgeous. Wow. Can I get a good picture to show this off? Back of the box will do. So this one. So you can see here, it's got a raised display, and you've got like your travel bits, and you've got your cards that you do with like little creatures on it, which sounds cool. Nice artwork. So if you like purple, you're gonna love this game, pink and purple. But the idea is that this river here, the 12 Rivers, is basically a marble run. So you've got these little blockers in there to stop colored marbles going through, and basically the mechanics work. So pay camp cards to place your free tribe tokens to get the magic pearls you need. Release the magic pearls to roll down the rivers. Collect a pearl at each tribe token and place it on your alpaca. The rest roll downstream. To score, transfer your pearls to villagers you recruit, unlock their bonuses, and play stuff for special powers. So it's going to have this interesting dynamic with the pearls, like where they roll down and how you get them and stuff. And it's like, I can see this being quite a funky looking game, and it looks unique. And looks cool on the table. I mean, it's got that lovely backdrop with the waterfall, and then the marbles come down. I guarantee it turns heads when you walk past this. Components look pretty sweet as well. I mean, you can see here, nice little pearls, good wooden platforms here. Now, what they were afraid of, and what some people I know have been afraid of, is that this insert, as you can see, you might be thinking, what is that made of? Is that wood? It's not. It's made out of foam core, which is what Folded Space use for their inserts. I have said time and time again that Folded Space inserts are still relatively durable with foam core. Not as durable as wood, of course, but they're still perfectly fine. But this is stuck on foam core, and it was very sturdy. I mean, I was prodding it. I was having a little flick with these little notches and that. You're going to have to give it some serious beating in order to make this, like, come apart or anything like that. So I think that's not going to be a problem. And what it does mean is that it's a nice cost-effective way to actually do it. I mean, you can easily put artwork on this thing. You can easily cut out these little notches. I just think I think it kept the cost of the game down quite considerably by doing it. But yeah, this looks like a very cutesy game with like little marble runs and then players with special powers and stuff. I mean, I am very, very intrigued about this one. I mean, that's as much as I know. I don't know much more about the game. I didn't play it or anything, but when I was getting explained it, 45 to 75 minutes, 2 to 4 players. They haven't tried to bolt on a solo mode. I don't know, it just seems pretty cool. Honestly, it looks like, again, something different. Dice Tower have done a review. I might have to have a look at that. But yeah, I'm very interested in this one, so I'm hoping it'll be pretty sweet. All right, what have we got left? Taking that switch, we have March of the Ants. Oh man, have I been waiting for this game. I've got it over there, actually. It's buried under a few games there. March of the Ants is from Tim Eisner. So, same guy who did Canopy, some guy who did Leaf. And I have talked highly about both of those games. This one is a re-implementation of an older game, March of the Ants. This is an area control game, quite an aggressive area control game. And I know I've said that's not necessarily my favorite mechanic. But this looks to be a good, streamlined, yet meaty area control game with a fantastic theme. I mean, this one, you have got ant colonies. These hexes are the ant colonies with the little dirt paths and little flowers and stuff like that you're trying to get, lava and growing lava and stuff. You've got centipedes that, cause havoc. You've got this mechanic where you actually create an ant species. So you start off as a basic one, but then you evolve. You've got the head, you've got the body, and you've got the tail, effectively. Or I don't know, what is it actually? The head, the body, and the abdomen, I guess. I don't know. What do you actually call it on an ant? The 3 segments, or just I don't know. I mean, I'm not exactly a fan of ants. Ants, when I get them in my house in the summer, sometimes I have to go all over the place in order to try and get them out. It's absolute pain trying getting them out of your kitchen, but talcum powder works quite well. But also some sprays and bits of that, and if necessary, ant traps. But suffice to say, this one looks very well produced. They've Weird City Games have got a very good track record, as I said, Leaf and Canopy, and even the bigger version one, was it Canopy Evergreen? Not as good as Canopy, but still pretty good. They've got a good track record, and I like the look of it. It's a good cover, bright. Look at this, like nice color palette. It looks easy to follow. I like the idea of evolving your ant species. I think that's going to be really cool. I think there's a solo mode in there as well. But yeah, I'm very keen to get this one out. Don't know when. It is higher on my priority list because I know some of the Patreons did, after All Lodge, say they would like to know about March of the Ants. So there is that. I also do need to consider that the game I couldn't mention at the start of this video, that is soon to have its embargo released, I do need to prioritize that as well, not just because of the people who gave it to me, but also because I will be demoing this game at some point in November, so I need to make certain I get on top of that one. But yeah, March of the Ants is definitely high up the chart in that one. I'm looking forward to it. I mean, it just looks really nice. I like this, like, these tunnels you can go through. I think this is just going to be one where, even as an area control game, and an aggressive one, if it's not too long, if there's sort of equal opportunity smacking, and if it's just really good to its theme, I think I'm going to enjoy this one. And at least, as far as I can tell, I've had a look through the cards, I've had a look in everything, there are no spiders. Or at least if there is, I think the closest thing I've seen to a spider in this is that web. That web on that tile. I think that's all I've seen. I haven't seen anywhere on another tile or anywhere else an actual picture of a spider, which is good, because I don't want there to be one. Otherwise, I'm going to have to do what I did with Life of the Amazonia and actually paste cat pictures over it in create mode or arachnophobia mode. But yeah, I'm looking forward to that one. All right, let's move on to board and dice. So I do have Chiangxia over there, but it's going to be a while before I get round to that one. And a lot of people have talked about it already. It's low on the priority to review that one. I am more interested in getting Tabai to the table. Although the Patreons haven't requested that one as much as others. But this is one of the few that I actually got into a demo with. A guy called Pike was running it, and he had one of these finger pointer things, which was really good for demoing games. I've actually ordered one on eBay to get one because I think they'll be fantastic for me as well. But this is surprisingly a game that's got some good promise. This is a David Turksey game and a heavy game. Now, when you put those two things together, along with boarded dice, you usually expect a very complicated, heavy, oh my god, there's so many rules type game. Now, the game does have a reasonable amount of rules, but not overly too many rules. And it does look like, oh my god, that's a lot of stuff there. Bear in mind, this is all the different players as well. So there's 3 players there at the bottom, 2 god tracks, the main board, and a bit of scoring there on the right. But I mean, whether it was due credit to Pike's scripted demo that he was doing, and I do, honestly, publishers, script the complicated games. Don't teach every rule in the game and then expect us to play for another 45 minutes. Run a script. Script my first 2 rounds out and then maybe get me to make my own choices for another round. Maybe 2 if you can fit it in the time. But do it that way. You're supposed to, I mean, the demo did exactly what a demo should. It teased this game for me. It teased me enough to want to try it and play it more. That is what a demo should do. It should get people interested to try the game more, not give them a full, massive playthrough of the game ahead of time, which, because they might be a bit worn out after the demo, they might not want the game anymore. You know, you gotta tease people. It's like a trailer for a movie. A good trailer for a movie does not spoil the entire movie. It instead gets you thinking, oh, that's gonna be cool. Oh my god, what is that? Oh, that's gonna be awesome. That's what a good trailer should do. That's what these demos should be. A scripted demo for a heavy game is a trailer. And hopefully a good trailer. In this case, credit to Pike, it was a very good trailer. Because this one is a game where you only get 10 actions. Oh boy. Games where you make very few actions usually don't sit well with me. But the rules of this game weren't that complicated. There was a lot of things you could do. It's definitely a game of action efficiency because you've only got 10 actions and you know, like choices. But I didn't feel like any of the specific rules were that complicated. It felt like the depth from what you would expect from a Turksey game was more in the action efficiency and the choices that you could make, not learning a smorgasbord of rules. I mean, granted, it's scripted, which helps, but as each bit was explained, it's like, that makes sense. That makes sense. I've seen that before. Yeah, that makes sense. The iconography is reasonably intuitive in a lot of places. You know, there's icon guides if you need it. The concept of scoring seemed pretty easy enough. The god tracks are easy enough. You know, the graphic design was pretty clear. But this map element where you place your little like tiles on there, and I mean, whatever history lesson he was explaining about the theme, whatever. I'm not that interested in the theme on this one, but the theme kind of goes away instantly after you're trying to play this game. But you've got like, you know, combat coming in from different sides, and you're trying to put like hippolytes down to like defend it in certain areas. But the idea is that you place these tiles down, and you put these dice which represent like your citizens or your hippolytes in between them. And they level up and down depending on what your Archon piece does. It basically is like a worker that you put on these tiles to get bonuses. But if other people leap over your dice, they level up. And if you leap over your own, they decrease in level. And you've got your board here with actions that you can unlock as you put more tiles out, contracts to fulfill. There's a lot of stuff going on in this game, but the demo did a good job of teasing me, thinking, wow, this game didn't feel that complicated. It was very in-depth, and certainly I would be like, right, what am I going to do in order to do well here? But I never felt like I had to ask, how's that rule work again? I mean, credit to Pike, but I think also credit to the game. So I've only teased this game, haven't played a full game of it, but it's definitely intrigued me. This could be one of the better David Turksey games I've played in recent, tried out in recent years. I mean, I've still got Imperium downstairs. Star Trek Captain's Chair. I didn't keep that in the end, but I can only keep one or the other. I can't keep both. I chose to keep Imperium, but yeah, I mean, in terms of a big meaty Euro game, this one, it teased me very well. I am very intrigued. I am very keen to try this one out more. It's not even a game I would have thought would have interested me from its theme and its style, and having 10 actions only in the game, but you do a lot in those 10 actions. I mean, you do what you want with the dice, it gets you stuff. You do stuff with your Archon, that gets you stuff. So you do a reasonable amount of stuff per turn, and what other people can influence that as well. But at the end of the day, it is still effectively a 10-turn game. So, it's interesting that this one is one that I'm like, okay. It did the job. So kudos to the demo, and kudos to the style. Scripted demo does the job. I mean, if somebody had, I think we were given a choice, and I think it was going to be scripted anyway. But and obviously nobody was going to vote on the alternative. But the alternative would have been to have had all the rules explained to you, and then you get started. No, I would have actually been. That would have put me off the game a bit if you'd done that. As I say, complex Euro games, script your demos. Works so much better. I remember Nucleum was the same thing. I remember sitting in Paul Grogan's one of that, and it was full on script, but it made it so much easier to learn and get into that game. It just works. It's like The Purge. It just works. But does it? But okay, so what do we got? Any more? Two more to talk about. So we have the White Castle Duel. We went to Board and Dice's booth party, which was really good. They had a lot of food there, sort of Greek style food, and a lot of alcohol, lots of alcohol. But bless her, Ola, who is kind of like the PR girl there. She's such a lovely lady. But they were dressed up in like togas and stuff like that. She kept going around with a wine pitcher, filling up people's glasses. But I don't know whether she was doing this to everybody. It felt like she just singled me out. But before my little cup could get anywhere close to the bottom, suddenly she comes around and goes whoop, and tops up my red wine. I thought, I gotta get back to the hotel at some point. But yeah, she just kept filling it up, and it was nice red wine. I like red wine. I like wine in general, but red wine particularly. And it's just like, Jesus Christ, it's like, what are you doing? It was quite amusing. But we also turned up late to another party that Devere were doing. Now, I don't have any contacts at Devere at the moment. I would like to build up some kind of relationship in the future. But, we got talking to some people that Sarah likes, and, a contact there. And I was given White Castle Duel. So, by all means, thank you very much for giving me a review copy of that. White Castle, when it comes to Devere games, granted, my history with them has not been fantastic in terms of their game releases. Some of them, like Bamboo and White Castle, I gave credit to. I think White Castle has some replay issues, but I thought as a game it was quite nice. Bamboo's pretty decent game. I like Cities. I think Cities is a very underrated game that they did. So, I liked White Castle, but I am very interested to try out the dual version, because it didn't really feel much like a multiplayer game when I was playing it before. So I'm curious as to how this will fare. But what I'm being told, because the designers, Isra and Shai, were there, we could actually talk to them about it, they didn't want to just make it White Castle with 2 players, because, to be honest, White Castle worked best as a 2-player game, I think, in my opinion anyway. So they wanted to make something a bit more unique with this, and I'm interested to see. I mean, Seven Wonders did the same thing. Came up with something that wasn't just Seven Wonders, it was something a little different. Same with Splendor, and Splendor Duel and Seven Wonders Duel are better than their Big Brother games as 2 players. So I suppose the only disadvantage this one has is that White Castle with 2 players was already pretty decent. So you're going to have to create a very new game and make it worthwhile. So we'll see how this one turns out. But it is a bit lower priority than some of these other ones. And from Peaker Games, Fantasia Games, to wrap this episode up, we have a Wild Venture. This one is, again, something that has caught my attention, because it's a 1 to 2 player game, so I can play it solo if need be. But I think Paul's already done some footage on this as well. Is he down here? I could have sworn. Is there anybody I care about here? I thought Paul had done something on this. Let's have a look. Nope, nobody. Oh, yep, there he is. There he is. So Paul's done one there. So, yep. Yep, that's about all I would go for. So, yeah. I mean, I might check out that tutorial and playthrough video at some point because it's not too long. But I am very curious about this one because, I mean, the artwork looks nice. You know, this cool sort of cartoony artwork. But it's a strategic two-player game. And it's got something in that line of, do you remember what it was? It was Moon Colony Bloodbath, where you kind of created an engine and then watched it get destroyed and you were trying to come out best for it. Granted, I don't like Galaxy Trucker, which was like you build a ship and watch it get disintegrated, but that's a very different game. And this one, on the other hand, though, is basically one where you build the engine and you share a deck of cards. You've got wild characters, clever combos, so it's a cool tactical card game. Sounds pretty cool. You build the powerful synergies, but then when the time is right, you then tear them apart. Cards won't last forever, and only the ones you fully used up score points. So timing is everything. 108 unique cards, double-sided inventory board, 2 theme sets for endless variety, as they say in the description. I'm also cool to see if this has good solo mode. If this is a 2-player only game and the solo mode sucks, that's going to hamper it a bit because I don't often get 2-player games to the table. But this will be, I mean, for a 40-60 minute game, this will be a game that I'll be able to literally just say, right, who wants to come around my house? We're going to play Wild Venture for the day. And we could bang out a bunch of these games and get a nice speed review done of this one quite quick. But yeah, I mean, I like this artwork. I like this cartoony artwork. I think it's very cutesy. It's very amusing or something. I quite like it. I mean, look at this card text. All right, so trash a card from your hand. If it was a crow, draw 3. If it was a frog, adventure 3. If it was rabbit, gain 6. Now, obviously, I don't know what the hell these terms mean, because I haven't played the game. But just the idea that the devs say that, like trash cards and like, was it a crow, frog, or a rabbit? So it's going to be like various animal cards and stuff. The theme just sounds very cool. But Moon Colony Bloodbath works well with that whole build an engine and watch it sort of get destroyed. This one is not so much watch it get destroyed, it is actively destroy it. So I'm very keen to get this one done. I think this is actually going to be, I suppose this would actually be quite high actually on my list because it's a short game, solo and 2-player. Just find the time, find a willing volunteer to come around and play it. And I could probably get a speed review done for this one quite quick. And I'm keen to see. I am very, very interested. So hopefully this one will be as good as the concept and the artwork would lead me to believe. And there we go. Ooh. Oh no, sorry. Oh, cool boy. Sorry, Dranda. Sorry, Dranda. Oh my god. Lost Lumina. Lost Lumina is also on there, so I will definitely be doing a speed review of that one. This is a 2-player area control game where basically you have followers, dudes on the map, you fight your opponents to control areas. End of the game, you score points based on how many followers you have in different areas you control. Nice and simple. Beautiful cover, love that cover. But the idea is that you've got these cards that are all unique, and you draft 10 of them at the start of the game by drawing 2, choosing 1 and giving 1 to the opponent. That means that by the time you've got 10 cards each, you know half the cards you gave your opponent, they know half the cards they gave you. They've got action point values and fight values, and then some quirky ability that mucks up combat. Combat's really straightforward. Go into the same area, roll a die for each follower, choose the highest, 1 point for each follower, 1 point for each battle strength on the hero, and then check out the ability of the hero itself, and then who's got the highest, kill all the other followers. Very straightforward, takes about 20 minutes. I mean, it's really quick. But it's beautifully produced. You've got these translucent dice, these lovely artwork cards, these wooden followers. Yes, sorry, there was a spider on one of these pictures. I didn't see that coming, but I've seen scarier spiders, but still. There's always one card with a spider. But look at it. It's such a beautiful little game. It's a tiny little box, but it really is just a fast 20-minute 2-player area control game with some good tactical depth for replay value. This one actually won't take me long to get a speed review out because I already played several games of this at Essen, and I was sort of demoing it for a bit when Jackpot was not necessary. So I've already got a decent idea of this game. I probably just need to play it a couple of more times with other people to really sort of get it ready for a speed review. But yeah, I'll do a speed review of this one. But so far, like I say, it does the job. It ticks the boxes for a quick game with a decent amount of depth. And good blimey, kudos to the artist. Who is the artist on this game? Artist of this game is Folko Stries, German RPG artist. What else have you done? Adventure games, which I'm guessing is RPG related. I Am Done. Never heard of that. Oh, those adventure games. Okay, so we did a lot of those. All right, fine. Blood Bowl Team Manager. Oh, that's going back a bit. Team Manager, an expansion to it anyway. A bunch of German games. Oh, he did some art for the Game of Thrones card game. Okay, that's interesting. What else we got? Some German games. Never heard of these. Lost Luminar. So cool. Murder Mystery Party. Yeah, again, Quizscape. Yeah, not really heard of these. So he's done like a few like little small things during the line, but man, I mean, the artwork in Lost Luminar is pretty damn good. I would maybe branch out, and do more stuff. Maybe you could get in touch with Furlan Spiel or something, Capstone Games, and maybe improve some of their artwork in some of their games. That would be quite cool. But yeah, all in all, pretty good. So yeah, that's it. Hour and 12 minutes on the recording, subject to breaks for Wi-Fi breaks and stuff. But yeah, that's Essen in a nutshell. That was what I got up to, what I did, who I demoed with, and that is my haul of games I brought back and why I'm curious to delve into those. Now, I haven't gone into the other section with Emberheart and a few of the others because I don't have another hour to talk about them, but also because they're not review copies. They are ones that I have funded through channel funds, and I will get to talking about them at some point, but they are going to be lower priority, maybe with the exception of a couple like Recall and that, where I kind of do need to get talking about it at some point. But I wanted to go through the ones that I have been kindly given review copies for to see, to sort of explain to you what's on the horizon for games-wise. So yeah, there's a lot of stuff to look out for. But that's it for me. I'm going to wrap up this podcast, get it edited and aired. So by all means, thank you for listening. Thanks for watching. Subscribe to the YouTube channel if you have not already. Check out the Patreon if you want to help support the funds of the channel. This is how it's, Patreon in particular is one of the main reasons I can do Essen, because Essen's a pricey convention to go to, and because of my nature of being honest policy with games and potential negative reviews and stuff, I don't get review copies from a lot of people, so thanks to all the publishers who have given me review copies. I love you all, but, thank you for taking the risk with me, knowing that I'm not going to, inflate a rating because of a review copy. But thanks to everybody who does help the support channel. Thanks to everybody who did come up and say hi. All of this means a lot, and it helps keep this channel running. So by all means, thank you very much. I'll see you on the next Broken Meeple video, which will probably be a speed review of Arigato, I think is probably the next one. And then after that, I can probably either do a speed review of one of the other games, or certainly I need to get the main review done for Orlodge. So that will come into play. But until next time, remember, it's only a game. Love you all, and enjoy the rest of your weekend. Take care.